Hey, everybody. It's so good to see all you beautiful people in here tonight. Thank you guys so much for being in here. Make sure y'all hit that like and share and subscribe if y'all haven't done so already. Thank you for coming in here. Let me go in and say my hellos to everybody. Hello, Evie. Good to see you, love. Hope you're doing well, darling. Hello, Ghost Devil, brother. Hope you're doing well, brother. Let's see. Hello, Sean. Good to see you. Hope you're doing good. I hope Miss Pearl's doing good. Hello, Miss Sharon. Good to see you, love. Hope you're doing good. Hello, Truth Seeker. Good to see you, darling. Hope you're doing good. Hi, Hippie Grandma. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, darling. Hello, Hindsight 2020. Good to see you, love. Hope you're doing well. Thank you guys so much for being in here. We might be small, but it'll be all right. We're small and mighty. It's all right. Hold on just a second, guys. Hello, Kristen. Good to see you, darling. I hope you're doing well, sweetheart. I have no idea what y'all are talking about. Y'all confusing me. Yes, smash the like when y'all come in. Thank you guys so much. All right, tonight we are talking about, this is the one that I had to reschedule for last Monday because our internet was out all day long last Monday. So this was the one that I had to reschedule for tonight. So, it is the importance of overthinking. Like, I know a lot of people overthink. They can't help it. I mean, you just think about everything. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. And it says, what is it? How does it affect your well-being and mental health? That could be like a form of it could possibly be a form of mental health. It could be a form of anxiety. It could be a form of stress. It could be a form of you just can't, calm your brain down, like ADHD. It could be just like you just can't calm your overthinking down. It gets overwhelming sometimes. So that's what we're going to do. No, I didn't. Did you send me a picture? Hold on a minute. I didn't get it, honey. Hold on. Let me see. Well, if my kids would get off my freaking tablet. Let's see. Aww. Is he not precious, Kristen? And you still don't have a name for him yet? My youngin was on my tablet, and this is the one that's got the Tattoo Angel Facebook on it. So I didn't get to see it. That's if you send me anything, just send it to my personal, honey, because the kids are sometimes on my tablet and I don't always see it. And I see that you sent it 2 hours ago. I had no idea. They don't tell me things, guys. He's so pretty. And it's a he? Oh, and you don't know his name yet? He looks exactly like your other one, or is that the picture of like his parents or his mom and dad or his brother and sister, the two on the couch? This one. Can y'all see it? Is that the sibling? All right. Yeah, I'll share them a little bit later on. I might have to send them to my personal Facebook, unless you want to, and then we'll share them later on because it's kind of a pain in the rear. I have to save them all and then send them over to mine, which is not a big deal. But if you wanted to send them to my personal, I can get on my personal on my computer and show everybody your new baby, Kristen. All right, so I'm going to pull up some information of what we was going to talk about. Like I said, on the 4th, I think it was the 4th. I'm not really for sure. My days are I've had kind of if y'all know what I'm talking about, a like mental mental brain or mental fog, like I can't remember a lot of stuff today. I don't know why, but it's been one of them days, I guess. It's been a good day, other than I just feel like I can't remember anything. Weird. Oh my goodness. Another lady just called to tell me she gave me the wrong bird. So we don't know if it's a boy or girl. She was devastated because she messed up. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness gracious. And they look identical, don't they? Let's see. Let me pull up my information, guys. That's what I'm trying to get to. I just had to find it where it was set for last Monday. There we go. All right, guys. I'm going to present my screen, and then we will go over this, and then we'll talk about after we're done. And the numbers just went down. I don't know what's going on, but whatever. We're small, but we're mighty. It says, are you an overthinker? Spending too much time in our head can be perilous to our mental health. Oh, bless her heart. Bless her heart. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by your own thoughts or by your thoughts? Many of clients have expressed frustration, even anguish, with their restlessness experiences of self-imposed mental interrogation. It occurs as an irresistible urge to analyze practically everything they think, but especially the unwanted, spontaneous thoughts that just pop into their mind. Consider a young woman we'll call Jessica. She sought treatment for anxiety, but within a short period of time, it was clear that she was caught in a self-defeating mental trap. Any negative, unwanted thought triggered an agonizing process of self-analysis. She asked herself over and over, what causes me to have this thought? What does it mean? What if I get stuck and become more anxious? Or I need to find a way to better control my mind. She spent hours analyzing thoughts that suddenly popped into her head. She also overanalyzed what people said to her, always questioning whether a negative intention was meant. By her own admission, Jessica was stuck in her head. Can you relate? Do you find yourself caught in a distressing cycle of overanalyzing your thoughts? Overthinking is a prominent characteristic of worry, rumination, and obsessive thinking, but it is not limited to these conditions. It can be a problem in its own right, and yet few people recognize the negative effect it can have on our emotional health, happiness, and well-being. Many people have conducted that overthinking is a part of their personality. They've not realized that strategies are available to counter this anxiety inducing habit. Hello, BM. Good to see you, love. Hope you're doing well, darling. The overthinking mind. I'm using the term overthink to refer to an excess tendency to monitor, evaluate, and attempt to control all types of thought. Overthinkers are not only highly aware of their thoughts, but they also spend a lot of time trying to understand the causes and meanings of their thoughts. Sometimes this can be a useful characteristic if our thoughts are significant and we need to decide on the best course of action. For example, if I have a thought like, should I leave my spouse or file for divorce? I'm going nowhere in this job. Maybe I need a new employment, or I'm having chest pains. Maybe I should go to the hospital. I need to pay attention to these thoughts. Ignoring the thought or not taking it seriously could be disastrous. Overthinking is a problem for another type of thinking that I discussed in a previous post, negative, intrusive thoughts. When we pay too much attention to such thoughts, overanalyze their meaning, and try too hard to control them, we can simply slip into unhealthy forms of thought like worry, rumination, obsession, and the like. And when we overanalyze negative, intrusive thoughts, we end up anxious, depressed, frustrated, and guilt-ridden. Signs of overthinking. If you're wondering whether overthinking is a problem for you, considering the following questions based on a test I developed for the Anxious Thoughts workbook. Are you easily aware of what you're thinking at any given moment? Do you often question why you're having certain thoughts? Do you often look for a deeper meaning or personal significance of your thoughts? When feeling upset, do you often focus on what you're thinking? Do you have strong need to know or understand how your mind works? Do you feel it's important to have strict control over your thoughts? Do you have a low tolerance for spontaneous, unwanted thoughts? Are you often in a struggle to control your thoughts? If you answered yes to many of these questions, it's possible you have a tendency to overthink. There are two dangers to this. If you're overthinking important issues in your life, you can get stuck in indecision, avoidance, and procrastination. A person thinking about their relationships, health, career, self-identity issues, and the like needs to spend time in thoughtful reflection, but too much in the head can be costly. On the other hand, we all have negative, intrusive thoughts that are best left alone. Spending time on these thoughts can lead to significant personal distress. How to curb overthinking. If you suspect you're falling prey to overthinking, there are several steps you can take. Know your triggers. Even the most ardent overthinkers don't do it all the time. Probably there are certain thoughts or issues that are more likely to trigger overthinking. If you're a worrier, for example, thoughts about the future may be more likely to trigger overthinking. For another person, it may be thinking about their competence or whether they are liked by others. Whatever the case, it's important to know the hot spots that trigger your overthinking. Be aware of overthinking. To reduce overthinking, you need to know when it's happening. What are the telltale signs that you are overthinking? It is when you're trying to interpret the meaning of an intrusive thought, when it probably has no hidden meaning. Is it when you're trying too hard to control or suppress the thought, or is it when you become frightened or anxious with the thought? There may be other signs that indicate you've slipped into overthinking. Fully embrace its futility. You won't be able to curb overthinking as long as you believe it has value. Review your past experiences with overthinking and write down how it helped. Did the overthinking result in any meaningful solution or revelation? Were there more positive or negative consequences associated with it? Disengage. When people are too much in their head, this signifies overengagement with unwanted thoughts. The opposite approach is to disengage from the thought. So the best way to curb overthinking is mindful acceptance, in which we observe but don't evaluate our unwanted thoughts. A second approach is focused distraction, in which we shift our attention to another train of thought or activity without engaging in an attempt to resolve or understand the unwanted thought we're overthinking. Overthinking can be harmful to our emotional health, especially when it is detected at unwanted, spontaneous, negative thoughts, images, or memories. Fortunately, we can learn to curb this unhelpful way of thinking through greater self-awareness and a practice of mental disengagement. Hold on just a second, guys. I'm trying to find my other pages. Let's see. Hello, Joseph. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being in here. Welcome. Please hit that like when you come in. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, we might be small in numbers, but we're still mighty, guys. We still got this. Okay, truth seeker, honey. 3 origins of overthinking, which is anxiety. Understand 3 reasons for overthinking and set your mind at ease. Overthinking can be caused by 3 love you too, truth seeker. 3 main types of situations. If you're introspective and self-aware, these qualities may be exploited by a certain type of person. If you're embracing a new chapter in life, good or bad, it may be destabilizing for a bit. Overthinking is miserable. Trapped in your own head, you may torture yourself for hours and sometimes days. Knowing where overthinking stems from and why it occurs can help you cope with it better. The first source may be interpersonal relationships. If you have a person who cares deeply about your relationships, you may overthink when interacting with a certain type of partner. The second involves your sense of self. You may be embarking on a career change, returning to school, or getting divorced. Whatever it may be, it's a brand new chapter in your life. It may ignite a period of significant overthinking. Third, you and many other people may suffer from a type of overthinking that can be described as weird worries. These are sometimes dark or crazy worries that creep into your head and camp out for a while, especially at night. And let me stop there for a minute. When I tell you guys, y'all probably heard me say this before, but I think this is a lot what we're talking about when I say, your body might be resting, but your mind's not resting. If you could just take your mind out and tell it to go to sleep. I know you can't do that, but I'm just saying it's a lot. It says especially at night. I think that's what they're talking about, like weird worries where you just constantly think about random junk. It's kind of like you're ADHD, but not ADHD in a way. Your mind is constantly, your body might be resting, but your mind, you're just so exhausted because you're like fighting with yourself, trying to go to sleep and you just can't, Hello, Rebel. It says interpersonal dynamics. You may be a person who pays close attention to how your actions and words impact loved ones. Not afraid to look in the mirror, you are conscious and attempt to understand a loved one's perspective. When you realize that you may have done or said something hurtful, you quickly seek to take responsibility and repair the rupture in the relationship. Although these are emotionally intelligent qualities that serve you well, when you are interacting with a person who has the same gifts, they can go a bit sideways when you are dealing with an emotional, unavailable person. Absolutely. Prayers for Truth Seeker's hubby. I think it was his grandmother or mother. She had a death in the family on her husband's side, and y'all just lift her up in your prayers. I think she said that the funeral is here very shortly. So y'all just lift that family up in your prayers. Truth Seeker's family. Says an emotional, unavailable person is egocentric, which prevents them from understanding your viewpoint if it differs from theirs. In their mind, they are always right. In addition, their staunch and rigid defensiveness prevents them from looking inward and examining their flaws, selfish moments, and hurtful behaviors. Instead, they play the victim and label you the Agnes, like egging it on. They can be extremely confusing. Your reality clashes with your loved one's reality, and because you look at yourself, you wonder if you are in the wrong, even when you are not. The dynamic can cause a rash of overthinking and can be miserable. To take some time to evaluate the emotional safety of this relationship, it may be time to set some healthy boundaries. Yes, grandmother. I apologize. That's what I meant. I couldn't remember if it was that. I couldn't remember which side it was on, but yeah, but please lift Truth Seeker's family up in your prayers and her husband. Number 2, sense of self issues. You may be embracing a new phase of life. It may be healthy and positive, like a transfer across the country for your dream job, or it may be bittersweet, like a divorce or retirement from a field that you are passionate about. Either way, this substantial life change does funky things to your sense of self. A huge life pivot forces you to shed small aspects of your identity. For example, during a job change, you leave an old friend behind as well as some work attachments that may be grounding and comforting. This strips your sense of self of some important stuff that used to anchor it, although necessary. The departure from these things results in temporary wobbly self-esteem. The brief but destabilizing phase can cause a surge of overthinking. For example, am I doing the right thing? Am I cut out for this? Am I good enough? I feel like an imposter. Will I make it? What if I fool myself into believing I could do this, but I can't? Although you may be consumed with self-doubt and are analyzing everything you do, it may be temporary. Your sense of self is actively consolidating with every stride you take towards a new endeavor. It takes time, but your sense of self will integrate the new in order to fill in the gaps that the old left behind. You will likely restabilize, and the overthinking may slow down. Number 3, weird worries. Often at night, when there are fewer distractions, you may be consumed with weird worries. These are thoughts that are sometimes bizarre and feel dark. For example, you suddenly worry about getting into a horrific car accident on the way to work the following day. Often you may wonder, where is this coming from? The dark thoughts may make you feel like you are dark, and it can be unsettling. These gruesome thoughts may stem from past trauma, although you may have processed this trauma and largely recovered from it. Your brain has changed. The thing the human brain hates the most is being blindsided by an event that causes its world to crash in an instant. The experience is so distressing that it's hard for your mind to reconcile that anything at any moment can happen and turn your world upside down. So there are moments when your brain attempts to predict it. That way it's not blindsided. So every so often, it reminds you that in this life, anything horrible can happen at any time, and you have very little control. Possibly the most helpful thing to do in this moment is to help your brain change the channel. Immediately think of something really appealing but kind of dreamy. For instance, if you want a kitchen remodel, how would you design your new kitchen? Or if you were inherited a large sum of money from a long lost and distant relative, what would you do with it? Perhaps you would buy a lake cottage or a cabin in the mountains. It's okay to cancel out the dark thoughts with appealing and fun ones. Overthinking is rough. However, understanding the reasons for it may help you know yourself better, provide reassurance that it may settle down in time, and have the confidence to recognize that it is not you. It is past trauma. You are human and our minds do funny things. You are not alone. I'm sorry. All right. Thank you guys so much for being in here. It means a lot to me. Like I said, we don't have many people watching, but we just make the best of it, guys. Be positive. Rome wasn't built in a day. We're just, this channel is just a little itty bitty goldfish in a humongous fishbowl of YouTube. So we'll get there eventually, guys. Three good reasons why overthinking may be a real superpower. A real superpower, guys. We got superpowers if we overthink. And this is from learningmind.com. Overthinking is not as bad as they told you. 3 reasons why me might be a real superpower. Overthinking is a part of life that many people have to deal with on a regular basis, and a lot of those find this constant overanalysis to be a hindrance. Classically, the process of overthinking has been considered negative for a myriad of reasons, but that doesn't necessarily mean the condition should be automatically associated with negativity. In fact, many argue that overthinking could actually be a good thing in certain scenarios. It may go against the standard view of overthinking, but such attention to every potential outcome or possibility can provide perspectives that others might miss. There are several reasons why overthinking can be considered positive. See, guys, we might talk about mental health or something to that effect. We always bring positivity. So I always do dig in and try to find something positive about it, even if it's just a little sentence, just something positive about it. The creativity connection. Overthinking is sometimes known as analysis paralysis. And that name comes from the idea that the process of overthinking causes the outcome of the situation to never be reached. In other words, the act of overthinking literally prevents someone from taking action. thereby nullifying the overthinking in the first place. Those situations are certainly demonstrative of overthinking in a negative light, but the source of that analytical nature is inherently a good thing. Overthinking can be linked to higher levels of intelligence and creativity, and the relationship between those facets of a personality are quite obvious when they are considered. The act of overthinking is directly linked to an overactive medial prefrontal cortex, which is a site of conscious perception and threat analysis. Spontaneous activity in the area of the brain is not only what allows for creativity, but it also thought to be a center of analyze. Lord have mercy, I can't even talk tonight. Analysis paralysis. The same creativity that can be used to build awesome imaginative landscapes and abstract ideas is also used to imagine all the countless scenarios and outcomes that one experiences when overthinking. Once an overthinker realizes that they're simply using their creativity in a negative way, they start to catch themselves in an act of overthinking, so they put their creative genius to better use. It is important to remember that the free flow of thought that accompanies overthinking can be used in a positive sense as well. Oh, sorry, guys. I know that's contagious, and I apologize, but sure, I'm telling you, it's been a long day. Long week, actually. Observational detail. Overthinkers tend to have a quiet streak in them because they are always in their own head debating with themselves. This introverted quality might seem negative, but it's actually be quite helpful in social situations. Overthinkers are essentially suffering from an overactive mind, and that includes an observational side of the equation. Most people who chronically overthink are also exceptional at noticing small details about any situation. If they can manage to cease their internal monologue, the energy of that overactive mind has to be used for something, and it typically gets used by the brain to create an untick in sensation processing. Being exceptionally observe observational in public is a good way to avoid confrontation, maximize interaction, and follow multiple conversations at once. Overthinkers who learn to observe their surroundings more often will find that they can learn a surprising amount just by viewing the words and actions of those around them. It is much easier to engage with someone on a deep level if you have some sim, sim balance of what their personality is like. So observation can also help you determine those individuals that you would rather avoid. As stated earlier, overthinkers tend to correlate with those of higher intelligence and creativity, and that extends to memory, storage, and recall. Overthinkers can use their overactive minds not only to produce creative thought, but also to store and regulate information they collect from their surroundings. Ironically, capturing more information for processing can actually have an alleviating effect on the act of overthinking. In fact, it can provide new information that might change the patterns of the overactive thoughts. Empathic reaction. Those that consider themselves to be overthinkers actually have something of a gift compared to others. More people are limited to standard activity in the medial prefrontal cortex, which is fine for daily life. It is shocking how much more can be accomplished with an overactive mind and proper training. The trick is to learn what works for you and what methods you can use to focus all that mental energy into something positive. Expanding creativity is one of the most effective methods, and focusing on observational detail is another. The last of the major potential positive of overthinking is an empathetic reaction, which is something of a mixture of the first two methods. An empathetic reaction is an idea that an overthinker can use their mental abilities to combine observational detail and creativity to form an image of what existence must be like for another person. Full empathy is the ability to completely place yourself in someone else's shoes. And an empathetic reaction is a single instance of empathy in which the overthinker momentarily realizes what an experience is like for the subject. In many cases, empathy is used to feel the negative feelings and emotions that another might have in order to understand their position. Overthinkers are some of the best at empathy because they can learn to glean all the important details while observing their surroundings. They can also learn to creativity, use those details to fill the gaps in that are left unspoken or acted. While overthinking tends to have a negative stigma associated with it, it can actually be used to better your life if you learn how to control it. The same is true for just about any physical or mental characteristic. Many of those personality traits might seem inconvenient or inhibiting, but they can also be exact opposite. There is no real reason to think of the overactive medial prefrontal cortex as a bad thing. In fact, it actually provides the potential for a larger appreciation of the world around you. Just like any other tool that can better your life, it must be learned and honed to become maximally effective. Don't let anyone tell you that overthinking is an inherited negative thing. All right, I think there's one more, guys. This one is how to stop overthinking. Here's how to recognize the signs that you are overthinking. This was dated February 14th, 2023, so this year. Hello, Digger Duck. Good to see you, love. Hope you're doing well, darling. Thank you for coming in here, darling. Overthinking can be a hard habit to break. You might even convince yourself that thinking about something for a really long time is the key to developing the best solution, but that's usually not the case. In fact, the longer you think about something, the less time and energy you have to take productive action. Plus, thinking about all the things you could have done differently, second guessing your decisions, and continuously imagining worst case scenarios can be exhausting. Learn what overthinking is. Some signs you may be an overthinker. Sorry about that, guys. I get a lot of stuff from verywellmind.com. Some signs you may be an overthinker and a few reasons. Some people think too much. Also explore different types of overthinking, the effects on your mental health and relationships, and how to stop overthinking things in your life. What is overthinking? Overthinking involves thinking about a certain topic or situation excessively, analyzing it for long periods of time. When you overthink, you have a hard time getting your mind to focus on anything else. It becomes consumed by the one thing you are thinking about. While some people believe that overthinking may be helpful since it involves looking at an issue or problem from nearly every viewpoint possible and anticipating future events, the opposite is true. Research suggests that overthinking is associated with feelings of depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder, which is PTSD. Everyone overthinks sometimes. Maybe you keep thinking about all the things that could go wrong when you give your presentation next week, or you've wasted countless hours trying to decide what to wear to your upcoming job interview. Finding ways to put an end to overthinking can help you take action in your life versus simply thinking about things that are bothering you. Instead of going over something in your mind again and again, you can start to take the steps necessarily to resolve that situation. Oh my gosh, I got something in my eye. Hold on a minute, guys. My eye's giving me a fit again. I thought it was okay. Now it's driving me crazy. Sorry about that, guys. Just that one stinking eye. I'm going to have to go to the darn eye doctor, I guess. It's bothering me. Signs you're overthinking. If you're wondering whether you're overthinking a particular situation or concern, there are a few things you can look for. Signs of overthinking include an inability to think about everything else, being unable to relax, constantly feeling worried or anxious, fixating on things outside your control, feeling mentally exhausted, having a lot of negative thoughts. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, Digger Duck, honey. So good to see you, darling. Replaying a situation or experience in your mind, second guessing your decisions, thinking of all the worst case scenarios. Causes of overthinking. Overthinking can happen for several reasons. Here are a few to consider. Not being solution focused. Overthinking is different from problem solving. Overthinking is about dwelling on the problem, while problem solving involves looking for a solution. No, because they were backed up. They're kind of like the dentist around here. Like it takes months and months to go. So I'm going to call tomorrow and just drive them crazy until they have an opening. It says not being solution focused. Overthinking is different from problem solving. Overthinking is about dwelling on the problem, while problem solving involves looking for a solution. Imagining a storm is coming. Here's an example that shows the difference between overthinking and problem solving. Overthinking. I wish the storm wouldn't come. It's going to be awful. I hope the house doesn't get damaged. Why do these things always happen to me? I can't handle this. Problem solving. I will go outside and pick up everything that might blow away. I put sandbags against the garage door to prevent flooding. If we get a lot of rain, I'll go to the store to buy plywood so I can board up the windows. Problem solving can lead to productive action. Overthinking, on the other hand, fuels uncomfortable emotions and doesn't look for solutions. Experiencing repetitive thoughts. Ruminating or rehashing the same things over and over again isn't helpful. But when you are overthinking, you might find yourself replaying a conversation in your head repeatedly or imagining something bad happening many times. Dwelling on your problems, mistakes, and shortcomings increases your risk of mental health problems, according to a 2013 study published in the Journal of Abnormal Psychology. As your mental health declines, you are more likely to ruminate on your thoughts. It's a repetitive cycle that can be tough to break. Your brain won't shut up. This is kind of like what I was just talking about when you're trying to go to sleep and your mind's just constantly going. When you're overthinking, you might feel like your brain won't shut off. When you try to sleep, you might even feel as your brain is on overdrive, and it replays scenarios in your head and causes you to imagine bad things happening. Research confirms when you're likely already know rumination interferes with sleep. Overthinking makes it hard to fall asleep. Overthinking impairs the quality of your sleep too, so it's harder to fall into a deeper slumber when your brain is busy overthinking everything. Difficulty falling asleep may contribute to more worrisome thoughts. For example, when you don't fall asleep right away, you might imagine that you'll be overtired the following day. That may be because you feel anxious, which may make it even harder to fall asleep. Making decisions is a struggle. You might try to convince yourself that thinking longer and harder helps you. After all, you're looking at a problem from every possible angle, but overanalyzing and obsessing actually becomes a barrier. Research shows thinking too much makes it tough to make decisions. Hello, Rocket Queen. Good to see you, love. Hope you're doing well, honey. If you're indecisive about everything from what to eat for dinner to which hotel you should book, you might be overthinking things. It's very likely that you're wasting a lot of time looking for a second opinion and researching your options, when ultimately those little choices might not matter so much. Decisions are second-guessed. Overthinking sometimes involves beating yourself up for the decisions you already made. You could waste a lot of time thinking your life would be better if you only taken that other job and not started a business, or maybe you get upset with yourself for not seeing red flags sooner because you believe they should have been obvious. And while a little healthy self-reflection can help you learn from your mistakes, rehashing and second-guessing is a form of mental torture. Overthinking can take a toll on your mood and may make it even more difficult to make decisions in the future. Types of overthinking. Ooh. Says there are also types of overthinking that a person might engage in. Many of these are caused by cognitive distortions, which are negative or distorted ways of thinking, all or nothing thinking. This type of overthinking involves only seeing situations in black and white or white. Instead of looking at both the good and the bad, you might analyze an event only in the terms of being a total success or a total failure. In my eyes, that nobody is a failure. You just keep on doing what you're doing. You're amazing. You're wonderful. You're positive. You're a good person. You got this. You got this, guys. Catastrophizing. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I tried. This type of overthinking involves thinking things are worse than they are. For example, you might fear that you will fail an exam. This then leads to worry that you will fail a class, which will then lead to failing school, not getting a degree, and not being able to find a job. This type of overthinking sets you up to worry about unrealistic worst-case scenarios. Overgeneralizing. This form of overthinking happens when you base a rule or expectation for the future on a single or random event from the past. Instead of accepting that different outcomes are possible, you might assume that certain things will always or never happen. In this case, overgeneralizing one event from the past to every event in the future often leads to overthinking and worrying about things that might never occur. Effects of overthinking. Make sure you guys hit that like and share and subscribe, please. If y'all haven't done so, thank you guys so much for being in here. Overthinking is not a mental illness. It is not a mental illness, guys. And while overthinking can make you anxious, it's not necessarily the same thing as anxiety. However, it can play a role in the developmental and maintenance of several mental health conditions. Some disorders that are associated with overthinking include depression, generalized anxiety disorder is GAD, obsessive compulsive disorder is OCD, panic disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, which is PTSD, social anxiety disorder, which is SAD, and it's SAD. Overthinking can have bi-directional relationship with mental health issues. Stressful events, depression, and anxiety can make people worse prone to overthinking. And this overthinking contributes to worse anxiety, to worse stress, anxiety, and depression. Finding a way to break out of the cycle can often help relieve some symptoms of these conditions. Overthinking can also take a serious toll on relationships. Assuming the worst and jumping to incorrect conclusions can lead to arguments and conflicts with other people. Obsessing about every little thing other people do and say can also mean that you misunderstand what they are trying to convey. It can also lead to relationship anxiety and behaviors like constantly needing reassurance or attempting to control other people. Such behavior can harm your relationships with others. How to stop overthinking. That's easier said than done, but they're saying how to stop it. So this is some tips to how to stop if you do suffer with overthinking. Research shows thinking less about a problem might actually be the key to developing better solutions. Here are a few ways to stop overthinking. Distract yourself. Rather than sit and think about the problem for endless amounts of time, you can distract yourself for a bit. Your brain may find better ways to work out a solution in the background while you're distracted with another task, like working in the garden, or you might sleep on it and discover that your brain solves a problem for you while you're sleeping. A brief distraction can give you a break, and it may get your mind focused on something more productive. And your brain might even develop a solution for you when you stop thinking about the problem. Challenge negative thoughts. Remind yourself that your thoughts are not facts. Every thought you have will not be truthful, accurate, or even realistic. Learning how to reframe them in a more positive way can help relieve the tendency to overthink. When you find yourself overthinking, challenge these thoughts. Ask yourself if they are realistic. Consider an alternative scenarios. It can be difficult at first, but learning to call out on your own overthinking can help you learn to replace negative thoughts with more helpful ones. Work on your interpersonal skills. Studies have found that improving your interpersonal skills can help stop you from overthinking, since these skills have a large effect on this particular habit. Ways to develop stronger interpersonal skills include increasing your self-awareness, boosting your self-confidence, practicing self-control. Meditate. Meditation can be an excellent tool for redirecting your thoughts more positively. As you meditate, work on focusing on your breath. The goal is not to clear your mind, but rather focus on something and practice redirecting your focus whenever your thoughts wander. With practice, you will find it much easier to halt overthinking in its tracks before it becomes a serious problem. Research has found that a 10-minute meditation can be an effective way to stop intrusive thoughts and worry. Oh my gosh. Practice self-acceptance. Overthinking can stem from dwellings on past mistakes or worry about things that you cannot change. Instead of betraying yourself for things you might regret, try working towards being more accepting and compassionate of yourself. Research suggests that people who expand themselves such compassion are more likely to use adaptive coping strategies. Strategies that may help you become more self-accepting include practicing gratitude and thinking about the aspects of yourself that you appreciate, cultivating a strong support system made of people who can provide encouragement and love. Forgive yourself for things you regret. Get therapy. If you can't break free from overthinking, consider getting professional help. Overthinking may be the symptom of a mental health issue like depression or anxiety. On the flip side, it may also increase your susceptibility to develop mental health problems. A mental health professional may teach you skills that will help you stop obsessing, ruminating, and dwelling on the things that aren't helpful. They may also help you identify coping strategies that work for you, such as mindfulness or physical exercise. If you feel like your brain is on overdrive, talk to your physician. Your doctor may be able to refer you to a therapist who can help you put an end to overthinking. A word from Very Well. Overthinking can create an endless cycle of stress and worry, which ultimately causes you to feel less prepared, motivated, and confident. It can also play a role in mental health issues like anxiety and depression. So it's important to find ways to break out of such destructive thought patterns. Self-help strategies like distracting yourself and challenging your thoughts can help. If overthinking is taking a toll on your well-being, consider talking to a mental health professional that can help you develop the mental tools and coping skills you need to prevent overthinking. Oh my gosh. I apologize, guys. Whew. And make sure this one is the last one before I stop sharing my screen. Yes, this is the last one. So tell me what y'all think about what I went over. What do y'all think about overthinking? I think it can be draining, especially if you suffer with mental health conditions such as depression, PTSD, anxiety, bipolar, manic depressive, major depressive disorder, ADHD, schizophrenia, stuff like that. I think that it's very important to try to control your mind, which I know is easier said than done. Trust me, I know. But I mean, you have to try your very best to think positive in a negative world. And a lot of times when you're overthinking, you're worrying, you're stressing. And so if you can just try to lift a little bit of burden off yourself, you might feel a little bit better. But I mean, that's easier. I know that's easier said than done, but you have to at least try. You have to at least try, guys. You described me. I overthink everything. I do too. It's kind of like worrying. Like I'm a worry wart. I'm always stressed out. I'm always worrying. Like I just, you know, that's just me. And I think that's just part of my trauma and all that I've been through. I agree. I have constant racing thoughts, especially at night. Well, my race, it's very weird because like I'll be asleep and I'll wake up and it's like or I feel like I'm awake, but my eyes are not open. But it's kind of like you're on a roller coaster ride. So your head's kind of spinning, but you're all comfortable. You're laying comfortable and your body's asleep. Your body's comfortable, but like you're kind of like on a roller coaster and it's just like going and going and going. And then when you open your eyes, you feel like you're dizzy. You know what I mean? So it's very hard to try to think about something else. When you close your eyes, it's always going to be there. So you just try to think about something else in order to try to get that racing thought or whatever is in your mind so you can get some rest, some good sleep. I can tell you guys the last time that I felt like that I had a deep sleep because my mind is constant. Like I could be asleep, don't get me wrong, but you can be asleep and your mind still go. Your eyes can be closed, but you still are not fully asleep, if that makes sense. Let's see. I overthink, so I try and prevent things going wrong or being disappointed. I have racing thoughts all the time. I get so overwhelmed and it's debilitating. Exactly. Same RQ. I think it's really common trauma response. We feel like we need to be in control of everything to protect ourselves. Absolutely. That's what I'm thinking too, especially if you have suffered with some kind of traumatic, like they was talking about, like an accident, like a car accident. That's pretty traumatic. But there's a lot of other things. A lot of people, in my eyes, in my opinion, a lot of people suffer with mental health. They're just afraid to get help, so they just throw it underneath the rug, so to speak, and they don't really pay that. Nothing's wrong with me. Everybody overthinks. But I think if you could get a counselor or whatever. I mean, I'm not a doctor or nothing like that. I'm just saying, maybe tell your doctor that you can't calm your mind down to go to sleep, and maybe they can put you in counseling or something. That might be helpful to get some of the stuff off your chest. I'm not really for sure. Everybody, different strokes for different folks. That old saying. But I just feel that people could benefit from therapy or just talking to somebody. Just getting junk off your chest, venting to somebody if they're willing to listen. I'm here for each and every one of you guys. Now, if y'all ever need anybody to talk to, I'm here for you guys. Because, like I said, I might not know fully what you're understand what you are going through, but I can always be there to listen to y'all, give you advice, and stuff like that, and be a true friend and not tell nobody what we talked about, because I'm not like that. Hello, Miss Pat. Good to see you, love. Hope you're doing well, darling. Trendy says hello. I think it's insecurity, only having myself to look out for me. It could be, honey. Or like self-esteem issues, stuff like that. It definitely could be. Goodness. Now it's both my eyes. It's not just one, it's both of my eyes. Yeah, I truly appreciate you guys coming in here, and being with me. Yes, absolutely. I've been accused of overthinking. I like to think about things before I speak or do. Not sure what's that considered overthinking. No. Sharon, that is not overthinking. Don't let people gaslight you. Absolutely. We've covered that about a month or so ago. Always try to stay a step ahead of the kids makes me overthink. Yeah, your mind's going in 15,000 million different directions. Trust me, I know that struggle. And trust me, it's a struggle. I love these youngins, but it's like you can't be at 15 places at one time. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Take your medicine, child.
I did.
Okay, go to bed. Mm. Yeah, but they have you like I said, children. They just have you, mom, mom, mom. I'm like, y'all gonna have to hold on a minute. I can't even go to the bathroom. I can't do laundry. Y'all always yelling at me. Leave a message after the beep. You drive me crazy. Trendy. Fill up your drink and go to bed. I love you. It's just, I think it's just a constant struggle that people go through. You can't help but think. I mean, you're human, but like overthinking can cause you anxiety or mental health issues if you don't have any. But like I said, I think a good majority of the population in the United States and all over the world have some kind of mental health or mental illness, and they just kind of like put it in the back of their mind, so to speak. But I think a lot of it has to do with suffering with mental health and suffering with trauma and stress and worry. You just try to, like I said, we're only human. We're not perfect. It happens. But you just have to try to make the very best of what you have and what you've been given, and if you can better yourself, like a job wise or whatever, then do it. And then also, exactly, Miss Pat, exactly. They think so. But also, like just be kind to one another because you have no idea what somebody's going through. You don't know what that person is thinking. Like I said, like I always say, what if, because I'm learning true crime, guys. What if by chance somebody was massively overthinking and you say you walked in and you was very kind to them? Well, that stopped their overthinking. That stopped the constant whatever they was planning on doing. And it could make a difference in their life, and they go home and they decide not to do what they was thinking about doing. Look what Trendy drew, guys.
It's Betty Boop.
Betty Boop.
Mom's obsessed with her.
I think it's worse when people don't communicate with us. We come to our own conclusions and imagine all sorts of crazy things. Absolutely. Hello, Miss Bonnie. Good to see you, love. Hope you're doing good. Reassure from people close to us really helps. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, the people that don't accept you for the true you, that you don't need them in your life. That if they don't accept you for you, then they're not worth it. And it's crazy because a lot of people will show their true colors. A lot of people will show their true them. And it is very it can be heartbreaking. It can make your brain overthink. It's like, what did I do? Why ain't this person talking to me anymore? Or whatever the case may be. Why ain't this person coming around anymore? Or why? Like you have constant thoughts in your mind, and you can't help but think because those people won't talk to you. They won't tell you, what's going on, so you can try to, so you can try to work on it. A relationship, whether it's friendship or whatever, if you don't have communication or conversation, then it's hard to work things out.
Thank you, Sharon.
If people don't conversate with you and they just automatically quit talking to you or quit coming around or whatever the case may be, then like it's not your fault, that they won't explain to you what the situation is so you can try to work on it or anything like that. They won't do it. So I think it's a very hard to not be an overthinker because there's so much in this world that people go through. And like I say, you don't know what somebody's going through. So just be kind. Just be kind, guys. We need green flags so we don't go looking for the red flags. Absolutely. Miss Minnie Becca, how's your summer vacation going? I'm ready for them to go back to school.
I'm gonna start saying mom, 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 mom. I drive her crazy.
All right, Trinity, give me a hug and go to bed. Because James is still awake. Love you. Okay. Put the chair back so James can go to sleep. Absolutely. If I could just be a difference in somebody's life, that's what it all that's what it means. And I do a lot of life lessons, and not meaning to, but I just come across a lot of stuff, and I'm like, well, maybe somebody needs to hear that, or maybe I need to hear it, because I'm reading it out. So therefore, I'm also listening to it as well. So, it might help you guys. In return, it might help me too. It's kind of like we're in this together. So we're kind of helping each other. But, it can be difficult to not try to calm your mind down, especially trying to get rest, because everybody needs a good night's rest. Everybody. Because if you don't get enough sleep, you don't feel good. You're drained. You're constantly tired. There's numerous things that could happen if you're tired and you don't get enough rest, and so you're constantly yawning. You're just tired, even though you know that you've slept. But your mind is telling you other ways that you didn't get no sleep. You didn't get a lot of sleep. Absolutely. Absolutely, Miss Bonnie. Pastor Steve always says, we never know what people are going through. We all go through hard things. Absolutely. That's what I said. You don't never know what somebody's going through, ever. You don't never know. So don't judge a book by its cover. And always, always be kind and positive to one another, because you just don't know. And I love you, Rocket Queen, honey. It's okay, darling. I'm probably not going to stay on here much longer, but thank you. I love you, Rocket Queen, honey. But like I always say, you don't know. You truly don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And as the old saying goes, or not the old saying goes, only God can judge us. We're human, we're not perfect. We all have flaws, and we just need to work on them flaws if we can. Try to be positive about it. I know it's easier said than done. I do know that. Trust me, I suffer. And I know a lot of people suffer, and it can be very difficult, very challenging and stressful, and not mean to, but it just happens. It just happens, guys. So absolutely. And then I'd say, I always say, you just be kind with your words, because once they're said out, like if you're overthinking a lot and you speak and something comes out and and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that. Sometimes you're whatever you're overthinking might need to just stay inside, because we're all human. We have feelings. So you might accidentally hurt somebody's feelings, not meaning to. And then you have to apologize, and you have to try to talk to that person, and you have to, you know what I mean? So it's very hard to keep your emotions, your overthinking emotions, in and not let them come out, Well, I love you guys. I love you, Miss Bonnie. I love you, Pastor Steve. I love your whole family, honey. And I love Jenny. I miss Jenny. When I was little, she used to spray me with silly string at the October fall festivals for Halloween. She used to always give me. I hope she's doing okay. But yeah, I'm telling you, like, it's just, I think, just to be a difference in somebody's life, and you might have to just be careful. You could be overthinking, but just try not to overthink as much, I guess you could say, because it's stressful. It's stressful, and just, be a part of somebody's life, be a difference in somebody's life, and show them, that they're not alone. And like I said, I think everybody suffers with overthinking, and a lot. There's a good majority of the world and the United States, well, world, whatever. I'm tired, guys. Um, it there's a lot of people that are going through something. They are going through something, and you have no idea. You have no idea what's going on, but you can make a difference in their life just being there for them and listening to them and being kind to one another, and maybe saying, saying, I'll pray for you, or, just taking time to talk to them for a few minutes. That makes a whole difference in the whole world. It makes a whole difference. It sure does. And like, it's heartbreaking that you constantly hear bad things every day, and evil things, and children going missing and all that stuff. I don't really focus on the true crime, but I hear it a lot because a lot of people in here are from the true crime community, and then my husband also does true crime. So it's like, I hear, you hear it. And if you watch the news, oh my goodness, that's the worst thing you could watch, because it's just so discouraging, and it makes you overthink. It makes you overthink, because you're like, oh my goodness, like, what? Why is this happening, and this and this? And it makes you overthinking, and you don't mean to, because I mean, who don't want to watch the news and see, maybe something good happening? Well, you have to take the good with the bad, unfortunately, and there's way more bad than there is good. They don't really say a lot of the good, unfortunately. So, but I mean, that's how I look at it, and I just think, that stress causes me to overthink, and overthinking causes me to be stressed. Absolutely. And I think, I just think that maybe we could just, just my advice is try to do something to clear your mind if you can. Pray, read your Bible. If you do that, I'm not, do your own thing. Pray, read your Bible, talk to somebody, seek, professional help if need be. Like, just having a friend that you trust, that you can talk to. I mean, sometimes that helps clear your mind. Listen to music, that can help clear your mind, because of course, you're thinking about something else when you do all that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, just making a difference in your life can make a difference in somebody else's life. You know what I mean? Like, that a lot of people lead by examples, if that makes sense. So if they see you're constantly stressed out, constantly worried, which I know we're all human, it all happens, but maybe you can, show people, you know, like, be a difference, if that makes sense. Be a difference in somebody's life, be the good in somebody's life, and show them that they're not alone in this world, that they are cared for, they are loved, and I'm here for each and every one of you guys. No questions asked. Like, I have been, unfortunately, I have been backstabbed, growing up as a child, and bad things were talked about me and stuff like that, and it was just bullying. So I would never, ever, ever do that to somebody, because it hurts. It's terrible. It's a terrible feeling. And when I say that I'm there for you guys, I wholeheartedly am there for you guys. And I pray for each and every one of you guys. And I hope that, everything is going well in all of y'all's families. And, the sick get better. And, if you're like, I don't want anybody to ever feel like they're alone in this world, because there are people that are here for you guys. Y'all just have to reach out and let them know, hey, I need somebody to talk to. I need somebody to talk to. It's nice to have somebody to talk to. Like I was saying last night, we used to be part of the VFW Auxiliary here in Bristol, Tennessee. Now we are part of the DAV in Bristol, Tennessee, and Virginia. Like, it's together. And one of my dear friends, and I miss him dearly, he passed away a couple years ago, and his name was HD. And he didn't have any family. He didn't have any children. He didn't have a wife. I think he had some girlfriends, but no immediate family. So when he passed away, it was heartbreaking. And, like every time I went to the VFW, he was always sitting there. And I always gave up. He suffered with COPD and emphysema real bad. Like he had a hard time breathing. And he had constantly had oxygen on his face. And so I would always go up there and give him a hug and just sit on the stool and just listen. Take time to listen to people. It can make a difference in somebody's life. Sit there and hold their hand through something bad, or give them a hug, or just anything to make a difference in somebody's life and make them feel better. And that might cause them to quit, cause their mind to be a little bit more calmer. If you just show compassion to each other and show that you care for one another. I know there's so much evil in this world. If we could just weed out all that evil, and to show people that there are good, real, legit, amazing people out there that just want to do the good in the world, want to be the good in the world, want to share our stories, be a difference in somebody's life. It's just very meaningful to do that. And that's something you might not think that these people that you are there for think about it. But then you're like, okay, well, I gave them a few minutes and I was there for them, but they acted like it didn't really bother them. Like, hey, how you doing? And then they was ready to go. Well, but when they get home and they think, wow, that person, she was a sweetheart, or he was a nice person, or whatever the case may be, and they just took time to talk to me. They could have talked to anybody, but took time to talk to me. Just say, hey, how are you doing? Just an act of kindness. They're going to think about that. They might not think about it instantly, because this world is such an evil place. So it's not used to nice people anymore, respectful people, like people's, I was taught with manners, and I know a lot of people were, but a lot of people have forgotten the raising, if that makes sense. They're acting a specific way just so other people will like them. And it should be yourself, so the right people will come along and love you. That's how I feel about it. So, that's just my thoughts on it, guys. Kristen says, I start every day in God's word and prayer and end up the same way. But in between that, I have an amazing new baby to take care of. Today, I've received a beautiful gift. A man that lives on my street is a retired veteran. He is an amazing artist. He drew a picture of Mr. Bean that is perfect. Oh, I would love to see it. I bet you it's beautiful. Kristen, did you send those to my Facebook before I jump off here? I'm going to show everybody your new baby. Hold on a minute, guys. Hold on, let me send my pictures over. So it's all right. I'll send them over, honey. You're good. Let me see. Is it okay to show? Is it okay to show them? Is that what your Is that what the baby looks like now? All right. Let's see. Let me see if I can send them all that way. Hold on 1 minute. Yeah, I got him, honey. Is it okay if I show everybody your new baby? All right. I'm going to share Kristen's new baby. Share the pictures before I jump off here. Okay, this is, I guess, of his cage. He's right here. No, ain't he pretty? Well, she, like you said, you're not really for sure. Not really for sure. Yes, I know you definitely do a thank you note or a card or, just something. Bake him a cake like Miss Sharon was talking about. Just do something to just show appreciation, or sit down and have conversation with him. I'm telling you guys, um, listening to veterans, I mean, listening to anybody, just listening to their stories makes it's heartwarming. It's heartwarming. And I'm telling you, these veterans have some amazing stories to tell. They might not talk about, um, um, being in the military. They might just have other stories to tell. But if you could just take a time to get to know somebody, whether you're a veteran or not, if you're a veteran, thank you so much for your service. Everybody's welcome in here. And thank you guys thank you for your family sacrifice too and their service, because it's all the way around. It's your service and the family service, because they have to sacrifice you in order to for you to fight for a country. So, oh, well, I mean, it don't hurt to try. Don't hurt to try. But he is so pretty. He's like a baby blue. Look how pretty he is, or she, or whatever it is. I bet you, what's his name? Pickle? I think that's what his name is. Is your other bird jealous? Or does he like him or her? I know he is a pretty bird, or she, or whatever it is. Oh, look at it. Oh, Pickle said, "Oh, cute baby." Oh, now how old is this one? Do you know, Kristen? How old he is, or she is, or how old the fur baby is? Look how pretty it is. That blue color is so pretty. No. Oh, he was looking right at you. Looks like, does it have blue eyes too? I don't know, it's hard to see. Well, right here, his eyes look dark. But in this one, it looks like his eyes are blue right there. Look how pretty they are. Its parents are both violet. Ooh. So what is, okay, so is this his brother or sister on the pillow? Look how pretty they are. Oh my goodness. Is it the same bird as Pickle, or is it a different type of bird? Oh my goodness. It's the same bird. Hi, Becca. Good to see you, darling. Hope you're doing well, sweetheart. Also, it's just a baby. So this one is, they look identical. It's very hard. They're not even my birds, and they're identical. So how could you really know which one's which? Like you were saying, that woman made an accident and didn't mean to, but they look identical. They really do. So I mean, I guess that would be a common mistake. Not really so much mistake, but you know what I mean. Like, it happens. is my bird and its sibling. This is the Indian ringneck. Pickle is a Quaker parrot. Is this the same as your other baby that got out, honey? It's so pretty. Are their eyes blue, or does it just look that way? Because they have so much blue on them. No, Bean is an African gray. Well, to me, they all kind of look, I mean, they all look similar. So, you know. Their eyes are black, really? It doesn't look like it. Like, let me show you. See right here? I mean, I know you can't really tell because it has so much bling. Good night, Evie. I love you, honey. Message me sometime this week if you can. I know everybody's been busy and stuff, but I love you, Evie. Thank you for coming in here, darling. I'm getting ready to jump off here in a minute anyways. I just wanted to show her pictures. But right here, if you look at the round color, wait, it's hard to really tell. But see the roundness of his eye? It looks blue, but maybe because he's fully blue, or she's fully blue. Because right there, it looks like its eyes are blue. And then, let's see. Right here, it looks like it has a touch of blue. It might be on the outside. Oh my goodness, my eyes. Either way, it's still pretty. It looks like he likes his head. It's pretty. It looks like is it pretty long, tail and all? Pretty long? Because it looks like its tail comes all the way right here. Right there. It looks like it's pretty long. Like it goes, and it goes down, and it looks like the tip's right here. Now, has this one been taught anything, or do you have to teach them like you was teaching Bean and Pickle? I was to breed the new bird with another Indian ringneck. The babies could be violet like its parents. Ooh, that's just pretty. But the blue, man, the blue is beautiful. The blue is beautiful. Okay, their tails are long. Okay, because it looked like the tip of his tail right here. So this is his body, and then it looks like the tail from here to here. But Pickle likes the new baby. No. Well, right there, his eyes look black, but in the other, I guess maybe it was the way of the camera or something. Looks like its eyes are blue. Like it's got a little bit of blue around it. It's so pretty. A pretty bird. Aww. Well, it seemed like it liked its cage. Gosh, I hope not. And then they said something about there's a sandstorm or something coming up from Florida, and that's just gonna make it worse. I ain't gonna be able to see anything. Lord, it's terrible. And I have eye drops for allergies, and they're still aggravating me. I love this one because I just now noticed it looks like you got a little seatbelt on it. It looks, I guess it's in his cage, but it looks like it's got a little seatbelt that it's like, it's just sitting there like, hold on, I'm gonna hold on, let's go. Well, see, it's hard because I have to wear glasses from the time that I wake up till the time I go to bed. Like I have to wear them 24/7. I've worn glasses ever since, I think, third grade. I've had glasses all my life pretty much. And with my eyes being as dry as they are right now, or whatever's going on, I can wear contacts. I have contacts. And when my eyes get better, I'll definitely wear them once or twice. But my eyes, they say I have dry eyes, but this is different than dry eyes. So my contacts, when I put them in, I have to constantly take them out and water them and put them back in. And like, it's just kind of irritating because I have to, I can only keep them in for like an hour or so at a time. And I have to take them out, put them in the solution, and then put them back in my eye because my eyes get so dry. They was posing. It's like, Mama, look at me. I purty. Timbers. Oh, I know, honey. I know. Girl, I'd be putting goggles over this and then my glasses. I still probably couldn't see. I can't see nothing far away. I don't know what that's called. I think that's called nearsighted or something like that. I can't see. If I take my glasses off, like I can see, but I can't really see, if that makes sense. Tamira's blue chicken is also a blue Indian ringnet with a huge vocabulary. Wow. Wow. That's cool. I still love this one. They look like lovebirds, even though they're brother and sister or whatever, sibling. They look like they're like, they're like, hey, come here. And it looks like, if you got them a little closer, it looks like they do a heart, Have you got this one to talk yet, or is it just Pickle that talks? Oh my goodness gracious. I think they're so pretty. You'll have to send us more pictures. Oh. See, my eyes are just so dry. I guess. I don't know. And it's kind of like both of them. I did like warm compresses and stuff. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm getting ready to jump off here. It was just kind of like a little, no, not yet. He's still a baby, but Indian ringnecks are well known for their huge vocabulary. Well, I can't wait to hear him when you, him or her, whatever. And I can't wait to hear what you're going to name your baby. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the videos and you put them up. I think it's so sweet. But yeah, I'm getting ready to jump off here. I wasn't going to make it a really massive long live because, it's Sunday night and people are getting ready to, go get up early in the morning to go to work. And, so, but y'all have a wonderful night. Like I said, thank you guys so much for coming in here. I know we didn't have a lot of people watching, but it just means a lot that y'all are in here. It truly does need. I will send you some names, Kristen, on Facebook Messenger. Just give me a few minutes and I will. But it really means a lot to me. I know my channel is different, but I just want to be a difference in somebody's life, be the good in somebody's life, be a positive, and let people know it's okay to not be okay. It's okay. It's okay to overthink. Just try not to let it overconsume you, if that makes sense. It's okay. Well, we're human. It's okay to have faults. We're not perfect, but just try your very best to think positive thoughts, and maybe the racing and the worry and the stress and all that will go away. I'm just saying. It's worth a try. But I'm going live tomorrow night. I actually go live every night now, except on Thursday nights. That's when the tattoo couple goes live. But everybody said, Becky, you should go live more. Well, y'all see me every day now. Okay, guys. And I will tell you guys what I'm covering tomorrow at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. That's just the time that I've always went live between 10 p.m. and 10:30. Well, I'm just setting it up for 10:30. So I know the kids are asleep, and I can actually, it's sometimes it's difficult to, a lot of people have said, well, Becca, go live during the day because nobody's on. Well, the kids are in bunches during the day, so my only downtime is at nighttime. So, but tomorrow we are covering at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, we are covering why is honesty important. And like, this is the topic. Why is honesty important? How does being an honest person affect your mental health and well-being? Is honesty a bad thing? And are you considered to be too honest? That's kind of the little topics that we're going to go over tomorrow night. So I think that would be a really good topic, because a lot of people tell me, Becca, you're too honest. I'm like, well, I'd rather be honest than not honest, But that's for tomorrow night. But that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow night. Why is honesty important? I think that's going to be great. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, darling. But I love you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I think Rebel said he's also going live tomorrow. I think he said his is set up at 8:30. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he said in his live today that it was 8:30 p.m. Eastern, because he has to work tomorrow. So I think it's 8:30 p.m. between 8:30 and 9 p.m. Eastern, and then I will go live at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. So I love you guys, and thank you guys so much for being here. Please hit the like and share and subscribe if y'all haven't done so already, and let people know about our positivity channel. Tattooed Rebel says he's going live at 8:30. So y'all seen it from Rebel, live tomorrow at 8:30, and then I go live tomorrow night at 10:30, right after his. So y'all have a wonderful night. I love each and every one of you guys. Remember to lift each other up. Be there for one another. Be a positive change in somebody's life. Take time to listen. And then try to clear your mind with positive thoughts. But just remember, like I always say this, and sound like a broken record, but I think it's just as a meaningful thing before I jump off here. Just be careful what you say, because words, it's hard to take back. Just be careful. And we're human, so they can be easily forgiven but not forgotten. So people will always think what you told them. So that's why I said be a difference in somebody's life. And then also, you don't never ever know what somebody's going through, so always be kind to one another. I love you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow night on Rebels, and then on mine. Y'all have a wonderful night. Much love, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful night, and have a happy Monday morning. Have a happy Monday morning in the morning, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. I love you guys.